Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture tutorial on design and analysis of algorithms coded with the 18MCA33 which comes under the VTU curriculum for the third semester students MCA. So before going to that, so let me introduce myself. So myself Tejaswini MN, working as an assistant professor in the department of MCA, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysuru. So I have an experience of 10 years and working in the same institution. And here, so before going to talk about the design and analysis of algorithm or the subject, so let me introduce our college and department's vision and mission. The vision of our college is to recognize as a premier technical and management institution promoting the extensive education, fostering the research, innovation, entrepreneurial attitude. And our mission is to empower students with indispensable knowledge through dedicated teaching and collaborative learning to advance extensive research in science, engineering and management disciplines, to facilitate entrepreneurial skills through effective institute industry collaboration and interaction with alumni, and to instill the need of uphold ethics in every aspect, and also to mold holistic individual capable of contributing to the advancement of the society. So and also our department vision is to be the premier source that provides a transformative education to create computer professionals, competent entrepreneurs and technocrats to meet the global challenges. And our mission, the vision are going to be achieved through our missions like to facilitate our students to nurture skill to practice their profession competent to meet the ever changing need of society and environment, to develop the potential of a human resource with the new ideas research to meet the requirements of cutting edge technologies. So these are about the mission of our department. So now let me talk about the subject design and analysis of algorithm. So you may think about why this subject is necessary in this third semester in VTU curriculum. So why they have introduced this subject in third semester is, so almost all the people, so this is the pre-final year semester, so whereas the students will be concentrating on their placements and any other competitive examination they are going to face in the next era. I am talking in terms of three aspects. One is the placement, another one is the competitive examination, or it might be the higher education. So if you are talking about the competitive examinations or any UGC entrance examinations, definitely the data structure and the based on these two subjects, definitely they are going to ask so many questions. So in that perspective also this subject is very important. And also if you are going for the higher education for the research purpose, then also this subject is very important. And coming to the competitive word and else, that is the placement, definitely if you consider any high paid companies, definitely they will look into this subject, that is mainly they will ask based on the data structures and the design and analysis of algorithms. So why they are concentrating on these two subjects is these are all the fundamental core subject in this VTU curriculum we have. And here if you consider any companies like Facebook, so say for example if you are searching anything in your Facebook account, so definitely, so if say for example if you are finding for your friend name, so by that time it is going to list all the friend list related to that name itself, whatever you have entered. So how it is happening in the back end side, definitely the search algorithms will be working. So those search algorithms we are going to learn in this particular course. And also, so if you another example, if you take the YouTube channels, so in that, so if you want to watch any movies or songs, anything, so by that time you are going to enter that name. By that time it is going to give a lot of information about that. So based on what, so some sorting order. Okay, so based on the review, or it might be rating, whatever it is, so it is going to give in some order. So that is nothing but in the back end side, again the sorting algorithm will be used. So, and another example I would like to give here why algorithm is very important is, so previously, so before using this Google map, so how we are doing, so if I want to go anywhere, like I say, if I want to search any address, or if I want to go to any destination, by that time I have to ask that, see, sir, where I have to go, so where this address comes and all, right? So whether I have to take left, right, everything we need to ask. But now, because of this Google map, it is very easy for us. But how it is working? Yes, obviously some of the algorithm techniques are there, so which tells you that Google map in the behind, so what actually the algorithm works, so it is going to give you the path and also the shortest path, so how fastly, how quickly you can reach your destination. So if you think about the algorithm, so everywhere we can see the algorithm. So that is why we are going to learn this subject in this semester. And what we are going to learn in this semester is, here we have 5 modules. In the first module, introduction about the algorithms and analyzing how we are going to analyze that particular algorithms based on the solution whatever we have got. So that is, so here using for the recursive and non-recursive algorithms, so here we are going to learn how to analyze the algorithms based on its performance. Okay, so performance measure might be time or space, but here we are concentrating on the time. So in the next coming session, I would like to tell about why we are concentrating on time rather than the space. Okay, the next module is the brute force approach and the divide and conquer approach. So here basically, in the first part, just we are going to learn, so what is that algorithm is, why it is important, and then what are all the fundamentals we are going to learn. But after that, from the module 2 to end of the module 5, so we are going to learn various strategies to learn how we are going to solve a particular problem. So here various algorithm techniques are there, that is what we are going to learn. So the first fundamental algorithm technique is the brute force approach. Here we are going to learn the some of the searching algorithm and the sorting algorithm and the exhaustive search problem also. And next coming to that is divide and conquer. So here we are going to divide the problem into sub problems, the complex problem will be divided into sub problems, and then we are going to get the solution. So here also we are going to learn some of the problems like sorting. So for that, merge sort, quick sort, so many algorithms are there we are going to learn in this module. And the next third module is the decrease and conquer and the greedy problem, or greedy method. So here decrease and conquer methodology, almost it is same as the divide and conquer, but here the transformation will be taken place from a smaller version of the solution will be transformed into the larger version of the problem solution. So here we are going to learn some of the graphical problems like DFS, BFS and topological ordering. And also that another one is the greedy method. Some of the combinatorial problems we are going to learn in greedy method. One of the a very interesting problem is the knapsack problem, that is what we are going to learn in that. And also some of the graphical problems like in order to find out the shortest path and all, we are going to learn in greedy method like Prim's algorithm, using the solutions like Prim's algorithm, Kruskal's algorithm and Dijistra's algorithm. And coming to the next module, that is the fourth module, the space and time trade-off. So that is, so either we need to go with the space or the time. So anyone we need to leave. Okay. So based on that, based on the input enhancement, so we are going to learn some of the techniques and also some of the problems in this particular space and time trade-off. And also the dynamic programming, the name doesn't mean that it is a programming, it is the way of approach to solve the problem. So here also we are going to solve some of the sorting problems, and then we are going to solve some combinatorial problem also. Okay. And next, the last module, it's about the limitations of algorithm power. So here, as the increase, as we know that as the input grows, so our time efficiency or time complexity grows exponentially. So for almost all the combinatorial problems. So here we are going to learn, so based on two techniques, so that is a backtracking method and the branch and bound method. Using these two methods, we are going to solve that particular problems and we are going to analyze the same. So therefore, what we are going to get, or the students are going to get once they complete this course. So definitely, so they will understand how to categorize the problem and based on their behavior and the characteristics of the problems, and then they can learn, or they will learn how to compute the efficiency of the algorithm, and also how to design the algorithm and the various designing techniques they are going to learn, and also they are going to learn how to analyze the algorithm. So as we know that for a single problem we can have multiple solution, so that in that multiple solution you need to say that which is the better one. So based on some criteria we are going to analyze it, and then we are going to say that this is the better algorithm than that. Okay, so that is what the students can learn, and also definitely once you get the solution, the next thing is we need to computerize it. That is nothing but implementing the algorithm using various programming languages. This is about the subject, and if you want to complete this course, so definitely, so here we have a SEE marks of 60 marks, which semester end examination will be conducted for 100 marks and it will be scaled down to 60 marks, and CIE marks is for 40 marks, which is divided into two things, that is 20 plus 20. 20 is for written test and another 20 is for based on the student's performance, like it might be seminar, or it might be assignment or quiz. So based on that we are going to give the marks for the students, and here passing criteria is for the SEE marks at least they have to score 40% from the SEE marks. Out of 100 they have to score at least 40 marks. And now, so in the SEE marks also, SIE marks, so there they have to score 50% of the marks. So if you have a 40 marks, they have to score 20 marks to take the examination or a semester end examination. So let us discuss what do you mean by algorithm. So let me begin with the session. So of the first series of this. So algorithm means here the step-by-step procedure to solve the problem. So in the BCA itself you would have learnt about the algorithm. What is the meaning of algorithm? That is, usually we will say the step-by-step procedure to solve the problem. But here, so I have added some more things. The algorithm is defined as finite sequence of unambiguous instructions to accomplish a given task. So if you have any problem, so if I want to solve that, you need to represent that solution in the form of step-by-step procedure, and that procedure should not have any ambiguity. The confusion should not be there in the system. That instructions is to accomplish the given task or a given problem. That is called as an algorithm. Say for example, if you consider any kind of mathematical operations, like it might be addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, so or modulo, these are all things what? That is nothing but the a procedure or operations, right? So here, in order to solve any kind of problem, definitely we are going to apply these operations only, not more than that, right? So here, but in order to solve the problem, we need to look into the problem definition. So what is the problem is, based on that we need to keep on solving the problem. So whenever we are getting the solution, you need to write it in a English like statement. So here, for the given inputs, so for the for the given inputs, it is giving you the output. So then what is the difference between the algorithm and the program? So this is also set of instructions, that is also set of instructions. Then what is the difference between the algorithm and and your program. Right. So first we should know why, because you people have learnt so many programming language in BCA or in your first year degree itself, right. So you will be having a confusion between what is the algorithm and then what is a program and all. See, program is nothing but a set of instructions. So that means that in order to perform what, some task or operations. This is also in order to perform some operation, we need to write some procedure, right. So that is the algorithm. So that is here the algorithms, here the algorithm is called as a step by step procedure to solve a problem, and this is called as an step by step instructions. Okay, then how to write the algorithm? So in order to represent our algorithm, you can make use of English like statements. So if I want to add two numbers, by that time what I can say, so directly a plus b I can do, or 1 plus 2 I can perform. Like instead of that, 1 is going to be added to the second number, that is 2, so that you will get the 3. So like that, so we are going to represent our algorithm. Once you get the solution, you need to represent that algorithm. That algorithm can be represented in natural language. And what about this? Some higher level language. Language is used, so, or else some programming language, which is also called as a programming language, is going to be used, right. So once you write the, if you are writing in the natural language, or else you can represent using pseudocode also. Pseudocode is nothing but it's look like a programming syntax only. So it look like a program only, but it is not a program, it is just an algorithm. That is pseudo means what? False. False code means it is not a wrong code, it is a false in the sense, so whatever we have written, it is not according to the syntax of that particular programming language. That is what it means the pseudo code is. So we can represent our algorithm, or we can write our algorithm in terms of what? In terms of pseudocode also, or else we can represent using flowchart also. Okay, then if you have a flowchart, so once you return the algorithm, so if you give the sum of the inputs, after tracing it out, you will get the output. But does it necessary to having a computer, hardware and all? No, not necessary for tracing. But if you are performing the program, so that is if you are converting into program, we require what? Hardware and software in order to execute our program to get the desired output, right. So one of the major difference between the program and the algorithm is no hardware and software. Why? Because we are not committing anything here. So in order to compile the program, we should have some hardware, the computer, whatever we have, and then software we required in order to execute that particular program to visualize that particular output, right. So this is the third difference. And then any other differences between the algorithm and program? So it might be, so here algorithms can be have different types of algorithms. It might be parallel or sequential, like that. So in the similar way, in a programming also non-human architecture is there. So likewise so many architectures are there which supports this algorithm. Okay, so these are the some of the difference between this program and algorithm we have. Okay, so almost this program look like or else algorithm look like a program but it is not exactly the program. Okay, so once you come up with a solution, that is nothing but your algorithm. So that algorithm is going to be transformed into computational devices, that is nothing but we need to feed into the computer. That is, if I want to feed into the computer, so computer should know about that particular algorithm. So for that we need to write the program. Using some of the programming languages, we can write the program and get the output. So what we can write is, so here for the given input, so we are going to write the programs and we are getting the desired output. So you can have multiple inputs, okay, and at least you should have a one output here. Okay, so the programming or a algorithm should have a input and the output also. Okay, so here if you consider this, so the notion of the algorithm can be written as, so how to write the notion of the algorithm is, so basically we will be having, so why we are writing the algorithms? In order to solve the problem. So basically we will be having the problem, right? So in order to solve this problem, so the solution is nothing but what? The algorithm. So once you write the solution, so it will become the algorithm. So this algorithm can be written in any like natural languages. It might be pseudocode or it might be a flowchart. And then, so this will be feed to what? Computer. See, if you are tracing in the book, so hand simulation will be done and then you can verify the, for the given inputs you can verify the output. But if it is a huge inputs, then you need to computize it, right? So computerize it. So for that what we need to do, we need to feed this algorithm into computer as a program. Okay, so if you consider this one as a computer, so we need to feed what? The program into the computer. So once you write the program and execute it, so for this we need to give what? We need to give the input. So for the given input, what does this computer give you? The desired output. Desired output it is going to give. So this is how the algorithm works. So or else we can call the notion of the algorithm. Okay, so algorithm is nothing but step-by-step procedure in order to solve a problem for a given input, for a given finite set of inputs, and which will give you the desired output, at least one desired output. And what are the difference between the program and the algorithm? So definitely, so we will get confused with algorithm and program. Some people are like, you know, writing a program is easy, like that they will tell. See, we know natural languages, we know our mother tongue, so we can solve our problem. So what kind of problem it might be? So here, so problem might be, so the whatever the food we want to prepare some dish, by that time what we will do? So by that time we will think of, so what all the ingredients are required. Once you come up with the ingredients, next what we will do? We will think of how to write the procedure, right? Once you write the procedure, so that is, so for first what we need to put, second what we need to put, so how much salt we need to put, these are all things. Measurement is also important. So once come up with that, so the cooking procedure, then we will come up with the outcome, that is nothing but your dish will be the ready one. So now, so in the similar way, so any kind of problem it might be, say for example, if I want to come from home to my college, by that time, so I can come by bus, I can come by own vehicle, whatever it is. But whenever we are coming, so we will look into what? We will look into the paths. So that is, there also we are solving the problem for easy of our work. Okay, so here in the similar way, here the algorithm can be used to solve the particular problem, whatever the problem it might be. Okay, so it is not like only stick on to the addition, subtraction, multiplication. Definitely in turn, whatever the problems we have in the real world problem, definitely in turn we are going to perform what? Addition, multiplication, subtraction and division only. Okay, so of course that is so some more steps will be added. So based on the mathematical equations, those are all things. And here for algorithm, so for solving any kind of problem, so we should know the knowledge of mathematics. So if you doesn't know the knowledge of, does not have a knowledge of mathematics, it is very tough for solving any kind of problem. Otherwise you can solve it, but the thing is it will be easier if you know the equations and all, where it can be applied and all. Okay, if you know that, you can play with the program. Okay, so the next thing what we have is the characteristics of algorithm. So let us see what are the characteristics of algorithm we have. So what are the characteristics of algorithm is, the first characteristic is input, the second one is output, third one is definiteness, and the fourth one is effectiveness, and the last one is finiteness. So these are the algorithm's characteristics. Already we know that what do you mean by algorithm? Algorithm is nothing but the unambiguous steps in order to solve the problem, which takes the finite input and gives you the desired output. So here the steps should be what? Unambiguous. It should not have any kind of ambiguity, so the confusion. So that means that it should be clear. The statements whatever we are going to write, those statements should be clear one. So it should not have any confusion statement. So here, so you can't have a 0 by 1, so like that. Okay, so next is input is very important. So whatever the algorithm you have written, if it doesn't have input, how can you find out the output, right? So even though you know the procedure, without the ingredient can you make a dish? No, right? So definitely we required a finite set of inputs. Okay, finite set of inputs are necessary. Okay, and the next one is output. So once you are computing the things, definitely why we are computing anything? In order to solving in the sense what? So we are expecting for some result. So that is, so each algorithm should yield at least one output. One output. And then the effectiveness. So effectiveness in the sense, the statements or the algorithm whatever you have written, the procedure, it should be simple and easy to understand. That is the effectiveness. So that is, it should be simple and easy to understand. So easy to understand. Okay, so that is the effectiveness of the algorithm. And then we have a finiteness. That means that each algorithm should have a termination. So once you start working, you should have an end, right? So for everything we should have a start, beginning and the end. So in the similar way, for the algorithm also we should have a proper end. Otherwise it will goes to infinite loop. Definitely you are not going to get the output. So because of that reason, each algorithm should have what? Termination statements. Okay, so each algorithm should terminate with a definite finite set of statements. Okay, so these are all the characteristics of algorithm. Okay, so now what do you mean by algorithm? And then we learnt, so what is the difference between the algorithm and the program, and then we have come up with the notion of the algorithm, and next we have learned some of the characteristics of the algorithm. So now let us see how to write the simple algorithm. That means that what is the notations that are going to be used for writing the algorithm. Okay, so let me take the simple problem to write this algorithm for understanding how we can represent our algorithm. Okay. Okay, so before writing any algorithm, we have to know about the problem. What is the problem is, what we are going to solve, right? So what is the problem? So here let me take like finding the area of rectangle. Okay, so in order to find the area of rectangle, so the rectangle looks like this. So now we will be having length and we will be having the breadth. Okay, so the entire area will be calculated based on what? By multiplying length into breadth. That will give you the result, that is the area of the given rectangle. Okay, so it is based on the inputs. So if they have given length and diagonal, by that time diagonal element, so by that time we need to find out the area, so based on some other different parameters. Okay, so but here we have a length and breadth, so that we are applying this equation, that is L into B we need to apply. So this is the procedure. So now how to write this procedure as an algorithm. Okay, so first thing, so now the keyword should be used here is algorithm. Remember, whenever we are writing the algorithm, we should use the keyword algorithm. Okay, and here we should write the algorithm name. What actually it is performing, based on that we need to give the algorithm name. So that is, here we are finding what? Area. So area of what? Rectangle. We are finding, and after this we need to give the inputs for this particular algorithm. So that is, the input for this algorithm is what? Area is going to be calculated based on the length and the breadth. So what is the input? Definitely L comma B, right? So simple straightforward operation it is, L and B we are giving as an input. So next, in the next line, we need to find, write the purpose of this algorithm. What is the purpose of this algorithm? To find area of rectangle. To find the of rectangle. Okay. Next, after this, we need to write the description of this algorithm. It is not mandatory, but it is better to write the description, detailed description of this algorithm. Okay, why? Because for a single problem we can have multiple solution. This is one of the major characteristics. Sorry, I have forgotten this. So for a single algorithm, for a single problem we can have multiple solution. That means that, so using multiple methodologies we can solve the problem. Okay, so that is the one of the characteristics of our algorithm. So here, based on that, so if it is there, then you need to mention over here in the detailed description whether you are using brute force approach, whether you are using the divide and conquer approach, whether you are using the that is what you are going to learn in this coming sessions. Okay, so which method you are applying to calculate this methodology. Of course, for this I am applying brute force. Why? Because this is straightforward one, right? So based on only one operation we are getting the result. That's why it is called as a brute force approach. Okay, so now we need to mention here the detailed description of this algorithm. So the algorithm, what it is computing? The algorithm computes what? So the algorithm computes the area of rectangle. Then what is the next step? So the next step is the input. We need to mention the input. Okay. So this is, we are writing for notation of or notations of algorithm. Okay. So inputs, what are the inputs here? So L and B, which holds the any positive integer. This is also any integer, and the output is what we are expecting for, that is A. A holds what? The area of rectangle. The area of rectangle. So now usually, as I said, definition of algorithm is what? Step by step procedure. So here you need to represent using step, English like statements or a pseudocode. So let me write the English like statement and also pseudocode here. So first step, step 1. Already we have taken the inputs L and B, so that it is not necessary to read the data again here. Okay. So in your BCA classes you would have learned that take the input, read the input, print the input, all those things. No. Here we are not concentrating on input and output directly. We are concentrating on the operations. Okay. So now first step is to find out what? The area of the given rectangle. Therefore, here calculate the area of rectangle by taking the product of L and B, that is length and breadth. Okay. So now that the pseudocode, equivalent pseudocode is nothing but what? This one only, that is A is going to be calculated here. Here I am not going to use the equal symbol, instead of that arrow mark you are using, and the operation, that is L into B we are performing. And then step 2, once you find the L and B, so that is retained in the A, return this A to the called function. So now we have a statement, English like statement, like how to calculate the area of a rectangle. How we are calculating? Using A is equal to L and B. But here the notation we need to concentrate on. What are the notations? Algorithm, area of rectangle, the name of the algorithm, the parameters. So what are the input parameters that are required? That is what we need to write, and along with that, purpose of this algorithm we need to write, and then the detailed description of the algorithm we need to write. Next is the inputs. So what are all the inputs, parameters we are sending, that what we need to give the description on that, and then what is the output we are expecting, that one you need to write. After that you can use the natural language like English or any language for writing the steps or procedure to solve your problem. Okay. And one more thing here is you can use a pseudocode also. So why? Because it is better to write the pseudocode. Why? Because being a programmer, so we need to write it in a programming. So that is, so we need to execute the program and all, right? So for that it is better, for the easy sake, we can write the pseudocode instead of writing in the English like statement. If you are a beginner for problem solving, you can write it down, take a pen and paper and write it down in the English like statement only, and try to convert that procedure into a pseudocode, so that it is easy for you to convert from algorithm to program, so that you will get the desired output. So let me wind up this session. In the next coming session, let me discuss what are all the various steps for designing the algorithm, or what are the problem solving steps, and also what is the framework for analyzing the algorithm. Okay, thank you.